Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. You know that satisfying sound when you open a MacBook? That's not just engineering, that's cultural capital right there. Today, we're diving into how these sleek machines haven't just changed computing, they've shaped how we think about technology, work, and creativity.
And it's fascinating how deep that influence goes. We're talking about a device that's become as much a status symbol as it is a tool.
Let's start at the beginning. Take us back to where this all began.
Well, the MacBook story really kicks off in 1991 with the PowerBook. But the real revolution came in 2006 when Apple launched the first actual MacBook.
That was a pretty big deal, right? The shift from PowerPC to Intel?
Huge. It marked the end of the PowerBook era and introduced features we now take for granted, like the backlit keyboard and the MagSafe connector.
Oh man, MagSafe. Can we talk about how many laptops that simple magnetic connector saved from certain death?
It's such a perfect example of Apple's approach to design, solving a common problem with elegant simplicity. I mean, how many times have we all tripped over laptop cords before that?
Too many to count. And speaking of design, Apple really set themselves apart there, didn't they?
Absolutely. By 2008, they introduced the unibody aluminum design, which was revolutionary. A single piece of aluminum, precision-engineered, it changed how people thought about laptop construction.
And then came 2012, the Retina display era.
That was a game-changer. The MacBook Pro became the first laptop with a Retina display, setting new standards for visual quality in portable computers.
You know what's interesting? Walk into any coffee shop today and you'll see that glowing Apple logo everywhere.
It's become this cultural phenomenon. MacBooks aren't just tools anymore, they're like the unofficial uniform of the creative class.
Right? It's like if you're a designer, writer, or really any kind of creative professional, it's almost expected that you'll have a MacBook.
And that's not by accident. Apple deliberately positioned MacBooks as creative tools, with features and marketing that spoke directly to that audience.
Though they did have some missteps along the way. Remember the butterfly keyboard?
Oh, that's a sensitive topic. The butterfly keyboard was supposed to be this ultra-thin innovation, but it ended up being incredibly problematic with reliability issues.
But what's interesting is how Apple handled that, right?
Exactly. They eventually listened to user feedback and returned to a more reliable scissor switch mechanism. It showed that even Apple isn't immune to design missteps.
Let's talk about 2020, the big shift to Apple Silicon.
This was probably the biggest revolution since the original MacBook. Moving from Intel to their own M1 chips was a massive gamble that paid off spectacularly.
And now we're up to the M4 chips, right?
Yes, and each generation has brought significant improvements. The M4 chips are roughly 10 to 20% faster than the previous M3 generation.
But it's more than just speed, isn't it? This was about Apple taking control of their destiny.
Absolutely. It's about vertical integration, controlling both hardware and software. It's given them the ability to optimize everything in ways they never could with Intel chips.
Let's talk about the cultural impact. How has the MacBook changed how we work?
It's fascinating. MacBooks have become central to what researchers call the always-on creative economy. They're the tool of choice for the digital nomad generation.
Right, like that article mentioned, it's the stage for side hustles, portfolios, and midnight brand pitches.
Exactly. The MacBook has become this symbol of creative ambition. It's where ideas become reality, where passion projects come to life.
And Apple's really leaned into that identity, haven't they?
They have. Their whole brand identity is built on simplicity, innovation, and emotional connection. The MacBook embodies all of that.
You mentioned emotional connection. Can you expand on that?
Research shows that just seeing the Apple logo can make people more creative. It's not just about the technology, it's about what the brand represents.
That's pretty powerful branding.
And it's consistent across every touchpoint, from the packaging to the retail experience. Everything is intentional.
Let's talk about the current lineup. How do the Air and Pro models differ?
The Air is all about ultra portability. It's perfect for students and travelers. The Pro is for power users who need serious performance for things like video editing or software development.
And they've really expanded the options, haven't they?
Yes, now you can get the Air in both 13-inch and 15-inch sizes, and the Pro in 14-inch and 16-inch, each with different chip options to match different needs.
Speaking of chips, can you break down the difference between the M4, M4 Pro, and M4 Max?
The base M4 has a 10-core CPU and GPU, perfect for most users. The Pro and Max versions scale up significantly, with the Max offering a 16-core CPU and 40-core GPU for serious professional work.
That's quite a range of options.
And that's intentional too. Apple wants to have a MacBook for every type of user, from students to professional creators.
Let's talk about what's next. Where do you see MacBooks going from here?
Well, with Apple Silicon, they've set themselves up for some interesting possibilities. We might see even more integration between MacBooks and other Apple devices.
The ecosystem play.
Right. It's not just about the individual device anymore. It's about how everything works together seamlessly.
And that's really been Apple's strength, hasn't it? The ecosystem?
Absolutely. When your iPhone, iPad, and MacBook all work together perfectly, it creates this golden handcuff effect. It's hard to leave the ecosystem.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
It's complex. On one hand, it creates a fantastic user experience. On the other, it does limit choice. But that's always been Apple's approach. Controlled, but polished.
Let's wrap this up. What do you think is the MacBook's lasting legacy?
The MacBook showed that computers could be more than just tools. They could be objects of desire, status symbols, and catalysts for creativity.
And they really changed what we expect from laptops, didn't they?
Completely. Things we now take for granted, great displays, long battery life, solid build quality, MacBooks helped establish those as standard expectations.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it, from that first PowerBook to where we are now.
And the journey's not over. Each new generation brings something new, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in portable computing.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Copilot Podcasts. Remember, when you see that glowing Apple logo in a coffee shop, you're not just seeing a laptop, you're seeing a piece of cultural history.
And the next time you open a MacBook, take a moment to appreciate that satisfying sound. It's the sound of 3 decades of innovation.